I was holding off talking about this topic because I wanted it to get to a conclusion where I could basically wait for them to release whatever they supposedly had, or they got to a point where they said, this is what is going on. This is, the footage we have. This is the evidence. This is the list, whatever. But it's becoming more clear by the day that this isn't going to happen anytime soon. So I'm just going to talk about it. And if anything happens in the future, which I'm sure there are going to be many things happening with this situation, I'm going to keep covering it and talking about it and giving my 2 cents on it. But this video that I'm about to do right here, I'm going to show you a bunch of clips. I'm going to show you a bunch of things. I'm going to talk about the deep state. I'm going to talk about Trump, Epstein, the files. And I'm going to bring some receipts, right? I'm just going to show you guys what I have. I'm going to tell you what I think, how I feel about this, so you can see where I'm coming from. And the more content I put out, the more real you're going to see I am compared to everybody else. I'm a real motherfucker. Like I keep telling you guys, I don't play games. And I think, like, when I go listen to my videos, I hear myself and I'm like, man, I'm not being as raw and as real as I want to be. A lot of times I'll laugh or giggle or whatever, or sounds like I'm having a good time. But in all reality, all this shit is dark and evil. There's nothing good about any of this stuff. And I don't want you guys to get the wrong impression about the things I'm talking about. That's the truth. I want you guys to have hope in the fact that these things can be changed, altered, or fixed, right? And we can move towards a better world, basically. But in order to get there, you got to see how dark and evil and how deep the rabbit hole goes. You got to see how dark this world really is. You got to see how bad it really is. And these motherfuckers that you believe in, these people that are in politics or in governments or that are in charge of things, they're not going to tell you the real truth. That's the bottom line. They're just going to keep lying to you and keep lying to you. And that's another thing that pisses me off. I see so many people talk about how the government lies and you shouldn't believe these politicians, blah, blah, blah. Yet they keep on believing in them. I'm like, how many times does the government have to lie to you? It's like that. I don't know if you guys have watched SpongeBob, right? There's a meme. You can go look it up, Google it, whatever, where it says, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Right? How many times must someone do something to you before you realize that what they're doing is bad for you or negative towards you? It's not beneficial for you. How many times does someone have to do something negative? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing. It could be a positive thing too. But how many times does someone have to do something consistently before you realize what they're doing to you and that there's a pattern? For me, I'm going to tell you how I am. You do one negative thing towards me, it's over for you. That you get one chance. You fuck that chance up, I'm done with you. Period. If you lie to me, I'm always going to think you're a liar. If you try to fuck with me or do something wrong to me, I'm always going to think you're a bad person. I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. There's no reason for me to give any human a continuous, endless benefit of the doubt. And that's what you people do. And then you wonder why you keep getting fucked over. And I'm not talking to my regular viewers or my subs, because I know the reason why you guys sub to me and why you watch me, the people that come here regularly, it's because you know better, right? You're the exception to the rule. And the rule that I'm speaking of right now is people that continuously get fooled by evil or bad people, and they keep believing in those people. And that's what these people are. That's what Trump is, and the government, Biden, all these people you think are legitimate. None of them are legitimate. None of them. But anyways, I've said enough. I want you guys to look at the screen, and I'm going to read you the definition of deep state, because we're going to talk about the deep state. We're going to talk about Donald Trump and how he's connected to it and all this other stuff, right? And in order for me to help you understand what the deep state is, in case you're unaware, and how Trump is connected to it, I have to explain to you what it is, right? So the definition that's on Google is a body of people, typically influential members of government agencies. That's the key right there. Government agencies. Last time I checked, the president is literally the leader of the government. And I'm going to say this again. It says government agencies. That could be anything related to the government. And that's not just for the United States. That's the whole fucking world. You think the United States is the only country that has a fucking government? No. The literal existence of every country is based on having a government. If a country doesn't have a government, and to me they're interchangeable, to be honest. Governments and countries are interchangeable as terms, right? To me they're the same thing. But if a country doesn't have a government, guess what? That country doesn't fucking exist. Because government is what gives that country legitimacy. It gives them their military, it gives them their systems and the way they operate, their economy, all of that shit, right? So without the government, there is no country. And every government is created to control a specific part of the world, aka a country, right? So again, deep state, as far as this definition is concerned, I'm gonna go deeper into this, deeper into the deep state, is, I'm gonna say it again, a body of people, typically influential members of government agencies or the military, believed to be involved in the secret manipulation or control of government policy. Notice it doesn't say of the United States alone. This is worldwide, right? This is the general definition of deep state, all right? This is what most people understand it to be. The problem is that people think they get fooled by people like Trump, and they're like, oh, well, he's not part of the deep state. He's fighting the deep state. Like, if you watch my last video where I talked about Tim Pool, who is one of the most influential motherfuckers in the world, he's talking about Trump and the deep state as being two different entities or separate from each other. Or Trump is going after the deep state. Motherfucker, he is the deep state. He's the face of the deep state. What the fuck are you talking about? He's going after them. He's going after himself? Oh, because he lied to you and told you he's going after them? So he manipulated you. Literally, the definition of deep state is manipulation. Right here, secret manipulation. What does that mean? That means manipulation is lying. It's tricking someone, right? Do I need to break that down too? So this guy can sit up here in front of the world and tell you a bold-faced lie. And you're not going to know because you don't know who the deep state is. You don't know who's controlling it. And he can sit right in front of the camera, in front of the world and say, I'm going after the deep state. And you're going to believe him. Why? Because he's done a couple of things you agree with? Because he's been given the role of savior by the deep state? By the ones he works for? By the evil demons that control the world? That's the true deep state? And they told him, hey, play this role so that we can fool everybody into listening to you. So whatever you say, they're going to believe. That's what he's doing. That's the game. None of this shit is real. It's all fake. All these countries and politicians and religions, all this shit is fucking fake, okay? It's all created to control humans, to manipulate humans, to lie to humans, deceive them, hurt them, fool them, use them. That's all this is for. And Trump is the ring motherfucking leader of it. He's the biggest deceiver because a lot of people believe in him and he's the worst one. I think that people that pretend to be good and are evil are the worst people because you don't know what they're doing. You can't see what they're doing. At least if someone is evil or corrupt, like Biden, you can see that shit. It's not a trick. You know. Everybody knows. But someone like Trump, he can really fool a lot of people. January 6th, people think that was some kind of rally for Trump, right? That motherfucker set people up so they can end up in jail. That's all that shit was. Had nothing to do with supporting Trump. It was all about setting his supporters up. His own supporters, he set them up. And now these same dumb motherfuckers that saw January 6th happen and got fucked by him are sitting over here on Truth Social, which is Trump's social media that he created, which is it should be Lie Social, not Truth Social. I'll be the dictator of what the real truth is, not you, Trump. But anyways, they're sitting up there complaining to his ass, why haven't you released the Epstein files? Okay, speaking of which, we're about to get into that. So before we get into that, let me show you another definition of deep state, just so that we can really get this into our heads, okay? Deep state is a term used for real or imagined potential, unauthorized, and often secret networks of power operating independently independently of a state's political leadership in pursuit of their own agendas and goals. Here's the problem. Wikipedia, get your shit together. Unauthorized, what does that mean? It means nobody authorized them to do it. And if they're secret, that means that you don't know that they're doing it, right? Because it's a secret. So it could easily be the same people that are sitting in your face telling you that they're working for you and they're fighting the deep state. If they're doing it in secret, you're not going to know. You're going to think that they're on your side, but they're not. That's the trick. That's the secret. I'm exposing the secret. So get your shit together. Wikipedia. It's actually the people that are telling you that they're not the deep state that are the deep state, because they work in deception and secret and in lies. Okay? All right. So enough of that shit. Now just to show you guys that Trump himself believes in the deep state. He believes it's a real thing, right? I'm going to show you this clip. Let him talk. And then I'm going to talk about what he said, okay? So why am I showing this clip of Trump talking about the deep state? Because a lot of people don't believe that the deep state is even a real thing. But here you have the motherfucking president of the goddamn United States twice. He's been the president twice now, maybe 3 times if you count 2020. Is telling your ass that there is a deep state. So he knows. You know how he knows? Because he's part of it. But let him talk. Let's hear what he has to say.
Who were really the powerful people? Was it the director of CIA? Was it FBI? Was it the big pharma? Was it military-industrial complex guys that are General Dynamics? Who were the people that are like, oh, I got you. You have, I never thought you had power. Who actually has power?
The most powerful person by far, the president. Power over everybody.
He's right to a degree, but not really. On the surface, to the average everyday citizen that doesn't know any better, doesn't know what the deep state is, doesn't know anything about how the world works, the president does appear to have the most power. And to a degree, if the president wanted to expose the deep state and show the world what's really going on, they could do that. But you know what happened the last time that somebody tried to do that? I present to you JFK. That's what happens when you're the president. So that's where his logic falls apart, because when you do try to take control and be the president and have some kind of power and expose things, they assassinate you. They murder you. The ones that actually truly have the real power, which is the real deep state. The president, again, is part of the deep state, but they're just the front man, like the mascot, like they're the advertiser. But they don't advertise themselves to be, but they are. But they don't tell you that. And that's the whole trick, right? Think about what I'm saying. If the deep state operates through deception, lies, and secrecy, then the president would be the perfect candidate to represent what I'm saying. Because you don't know that he's part of it. You think he's working on your side, but he's lying to you. That's the whole point of it. It's so that you don't know what they're doing. But anyways, if you have a brain, you can figure this shit out. It's simple. All right? Let him finish.
The power is enormous.
Most people don't believe that.
It is. But there is a sort of a deep state. And a lot of that's people that have been there. And then there's some bad guys, there's some bad people. Then there's a radical left, which I think are more dangerous in many ways than the other countries. I really do. You know, guys like Shifty Adam Schiff and other people. They're bad people. They're sort of sick people, not stupid people either, by the way.
You know, what I'm saying is, who is their boss? Who calls them and say, you better or else?
I think it's an amorphous group. It's a group. It's not one person. It's an amorphous group of lunatics.
An amorphous group of lunatics. Let me tell you what he's really saying without saying it, because he doesn't want to really say the truth, obviously, because he can't expose who he works for. It's the demons, the aliens, reptilians, whatever you want to call them. I always talk about them, right? Goes beyond humanity. That's who it really is. All right. That's the real deep state. That's the deep state. Like so deep. I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, but that's the real deep state. Okay. Let's just put it that way. And he can't say that obviously, because are you going to reveal that? No. Again, check JFK. You try to go that far, you're going to die. Period. They're going to kill you. And on that note, anyone can become a scapegoat for the deep state. Anyone, whether it's Trump, Diddy, Epstein, R. Kelly, it doesn't matter. Bill Cosby, they can take anyone they want. JFK, it doesn't matter who you are. Me, it doesn't matter who you are. If they want to use you as a scapegoat and blame a bunch of shit on you and then kill you off, they will do that. They have methods of mind controlling people, MK Ultra, taking over your mind, taking over your life, and threatening you and telling you if you go against us, we'll kill you and we'll frame you. We'll tell everybody that you did this shit, and that'll be it. You'll be another martyr in history that died for no reason and ended up being, the worst of the worst, when in reality you were actually trying to do something good. So that's what will happen to Trump if he actually tries to fight back, which obviously he knows better, because he doesn't want to lose his status. He doesn't want to lose his power and role in the world, even though he's kind of losing it a little bit with this Epstein shit, right? But is he going to lose it fully? That's up to the people. That's up to you guys. Are you going to keep supporting this fucking fraud? Or are you going to stop? And I'm going to be very, very clear. I'm not a Trump hater. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not political at all. It's not about that. All these people are fake, Democrats and Republicans, especially those people that they showed at the end, those Democrats. Those are the biggest in your face fucking frauds. I don't know how anybody could support people like AOC or Elon Omar, whatever these people's names. I don't even know half of their names. But every time I see these fucking people, they're lying and being deceitful about something right in your fucking face, and people actually support that. That's why I'm going to talk about those people too at some point. But the reason why I'm bringing that up and talking about that right now is because I want you guys to understand that I'm not on anybody's side but my own. I'm not a Trump hater. I'm not this, that, and whatever. I just made a video giving Trump credit over something he said, right? So I don't completely hate the guy. Oh, but do I trust him? Do I trust anybody in the government? Do I trust anybody at all? No, I only trust myself. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And I look at everything and I assess everything, all the information that's available to me, and I make the most logical judgment that I can based off of that, and then I give it to you guys. Right? As far as, as much as YouTube will allow me, but I try to be as real as I can. And that's what I'm doing here. So let's move along. Let's move to the next thing. Let's see what Trump and Pam Bondi had to say about the Epstein files, quote unquote, and all of that shit. Okay. What pisses me off is that Trump and Pam Bondi were talking about the Epstein files this whole fucking time, right? They were talking about they had access to it. When people find out what's going on with that, oh my God, it's gonna expose a whole bunch of shit. And then when it comes down to them having to actually show the world what's there, they wet the bed. They shit their pants. They can't fucking do it for whatever reason. I mean, I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. The real fucking truth. If they start exposing who the Epstein's clients are and who the real deep state is, that's when you're going to get into some supernatural shit. That's when you're going to start getting into aliens and demons and reptilians. Because I'm going to tell you what happens to these missing children. They end up, it's far worse than what they tell you. They're sacrificed, they're raped, they're basically eaten alive. The things that happen to these children is far worse than what they're telling you. And I'm talking about the children that are missing. Apparently there's some children that have been found, returned. There's some victims that come out and say whatever. And okay. And these victims, they don't even say who the other people are that were there on the island. So what good are these fucking fake victims? If you're a real victim of Epstein, why don't you fucking say who the other people are that were there? You know why? Because these people are fucking MK Ultra in control too. I don't believe any of these people. Any of these people that come out and say, oh, I'm on TV, so let me say what, you're all fake. Okay, I don't believe any of these fucking people. I don't believe anyone. I'm just gonna tell you what I think, and you do what you want with it. All right, so now let Trump talk.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of Saturday?
Yeah, sure.
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file, along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands.
What a lying little snake ass bitch. This is why I don't trust any of these fucking people. They're all working together. He hired her, right? He's talking like, oh, why are we still talking about Epstein? I wonder fucking why, Trump. I wonder fucking why. Because there are a lot of people that are in power or were in power that have been implicated to have gone to Epstein's island and done things there with Epstein, right? Including yourself. Not saying you did something, but you've been implicated as someone that's been there and knows what's going on. And if you have the file or whatever, then you obviously know, right? I mean, I have the profile or the fucking thumbnail for this video is him with Epstein, right? So that's why people are wondering about this shit and asking about this shit. Me personally, I'm gonna tell you how I feel about this situation. There's so much worse shit going on than this that to me, this is like a drop in the bucket. This is like minuscule. But the significance of it is that it starts to reveal the real truth of what's going on behind the scenes. So that's why this matters, because it's the beginning. This is the beginning steps of getting to the real truth of what's going on in the world. And a lot of people feel deceived by Trump because he said he was going to reveal it. He said he was going to expose what's going on, right? With Epstein, the whole situation was who's on the list, all this shit, right? He said he's going to tell everybody. And so did this bitch, right? And now they're talking about, oh, well, why are you still talking about that? What the fuck do you mean? Have you finished exposing what you said you were going to do? What you were going to expose? No, right? That's why people are fucking still talking about it. Because you haven't done what the fuck you said, you lying piece of shit. And I'm going to tell you guys like this. If he's lying about this, and he has lied about other things, what makes you think that this guy's going to tell you the truth about anything? And that goes for any politician. Why do you guys believe these fucking people? They're known pathological liars. That's that they run on lies. That's how they get elected. And you trust these fucking people? Especially when it comes to important shit like this, you think they're going to tell you the goddamn truth? They're not, especially if they're part of it. You think if he's part of what happened with Epstein, you think he's going to expose himself? No, who the fuck would do that? Would you? If you did some shady shit like that, would you come out and be like, yeah, I was part of it and here's the file? No, use your fucking brain. These people are never going to tell you the goddamn truth. But I'm going to tell you the real truth of why they won't expose it. Because it's going to expose the real deep state and the real evil that's going on. What's really happening to those children? Who's really on Epstein's client list? It's not humans. It's beyond humanity what's going on. Those children are being sacrificed to demons. That's what's happening. That's who's the real clients on Epstein's list are demons. Some of them are demons in human form. Like the Clintons, right? That's the real truth. But they're not going to fucking tell you that or show you that. Why? Obvious reasons. Because it's going to expose the whole fucking thing. The whole house of cards is going to come down and this whole system is going to crumble. It's the same reason why they don't want to expose what's going on with the aliens. Because the United States government and all the governments of the world will have to tell you the truth of how they've been lying to you and how they've been selling you out to demons and aliens. They can't say that because then they will lose all their power and nobody will ever trust them again. That's why they don't want to tell you the truth about aliens. It's the same thing with this Epstein shit. They're not going to tell you the truth. They're never going to, they're going to suppress it forever until you people wake the fuck up and see what they're doing and how they're lying to you to your fucking face, and you stop them. You say, I'm done with this shit. You're a liar. I don't support you anymore. I'm not going to vote for you. You're fired. That's the only way to stop this. I'm not talking about, you don't need a violent revolution to fix this. Just non-compliance. Peaceful non-compliance is good enough to crumble this whole shit. And they're lying in front of you in your face. They're so smug about it too. Look, let me let this bitch finish. Look how smug she is.
It's a video. They turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have...
All right, nobody's asking to see child porn. People want to know who was on the list and who the clients are. Who did Maxwell traffic the children to on Epstein's Island? That's what people want to know. So again, she's so smug and she's talking like, oh, well, I said I had the file on my list. I didn't say I had the list. I said I was going to review it. Bitch, you know what the fuck you were saying? You were deceiving people. Be straight up and say, look, yeah, I said I had the file, but I was mistaken. You can say that and maybe people will believe that. But the way you're coming off all smug and shit like, oh, I didn't say I had the list. I just said I had the file to be reviewed on my bitch, you know what the fuck you're doing. Stop playing fucking games.
I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing...
Look at this monumental lie right here. Look at this monumental lie. Mind you, people have reviewed the video and apparently it was edited. So that minute that she's talking about is missing. Let me let her finish and then I'll talk more about it.
Definitively, the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Look at and you see how this bitch smiles at the end? That's it on Epstein. So stop asking about it. There, you wanted the truth about Epstein? You wanted to know what was in the files? There you go. Now shut the fuck up, you dumb humans. Stop asking us. We told you what you wanted to know. That's her fucking attitude. So let's talk about this lie about the minute missing. If you're dumb enough to believe that shit, let me tell you guys something. You have to learn how to discern the truth from a lie by yourself. I can't teach you that. Nobody can. All I can do is show you the truth. You have to know whether I'm telling you the truth, or you have to figure it out on your own. Nobody can tell you that. That's the biggest weakness that humans have. They're very gullible and they can't figure out the truth on their own. They want to believe other people. They don't want to take the time. They're intellectually lazy. They don't want to take the time to think about shit and say, is this person lying to me or not? They're like, oh, well, this person seems credible and they said this thing, so it must be true. So she's talking about this minute missing every fucking night since 1999. Don't you guys think that's a problem? And I'm talking basically to everybody, to the people that have a minute missing of their security footage every night, every day. And it just so happens, the minute that is missing just perfectly so happens to line up with the minute that Epstein kills himself. Isn't that fucking great? Isn't that fucking perfect? Doesn't that just work out for the story to make sense so they can hide the truth? Right? Isn't that flawless how that works? So you're telling me either Epstein knew that was going to happen and he killed himself at that time, or somebody came and killed him at that time because they knew that minute was going to be missing. Or what actually happened is the minute was scrubbed, and they're telling you this lie that this happens every day since 1999. Not to mention, I'm going to say this again. It's already been found that the video they presented with the missing minute has been tampered with. It's a fake video. So they're lying to you. They're lying to you. They're not showing you what really happened. They have it. They don't want you to see. And I'm going to show you why, or I'm going to tell you why they don't want you to see what happened to Epstein. Let me tell you I'm going to tell you what happened to Epstein, because nobody's going to tell you the truth. So I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? This is what happened to Epstein. Epstein was a rich motherfucker. He was given a lot of money by demons to do his bidding. Just like Diddy, just like all these fucking people that have money. They're all given money, and they sign contracts with the devil, with demons, with aliens that say, we will give you all this wealth and all this shit, but at any time we can come and claim your soul, and we can fuck you up. But for now, hope that never happens and that you can be rich. And if you don't do what they say, they'll just kill you. So it's either take the money or die. So obviously people are going to take the money, right? So Epstein got all this money from these demons, and they were using his ass to traffic children that were being sacrificed, raped, and killed by demons on his island. And all these rich and political people that have power knew about this shit, and they were going to it. Most likely Trump was too. I don't know for sure, but others knew about it. I'm pretty sure Trump knew about it too, right? And they can't say anything, because the same thing that happened to Epstein will happen to them. That's what's going on here. So Epstein, because, and this is where I'm taking a guess. I don't know this for sure, but this is my guess. Epstein probably didn't want to go along with this. He probably said, I want out of this. I don't want to be part of this anymore. I'm done with this shit. The second that you turn on them, you end up in jail and you end up dead. That's what happens every single time that these rich people try to backtrack and say, they actually have a small, minuscule bit of conscience that says, I shouldn't be doing this. This is wrong. That's when their life ends. The demons come and collect your soul, and they say, oh, now you think you're going to back out after we gave you all that money and we gave you all this power and fame? Now you think you're just going to walk away? So guess what they did? They put his ass in jail. They framed him. And I'm not saying he didn't do this stuff. I'm just saying that he was the fall guy. And they're like, you're going to take all the blame for all of this. You're going to be the rapist. You're going to be the trafficker. It was on your island. You take the fall and you're going to die. But they didn't say they were going to kill him. They just threw his ass in jail. And he probably was like having doubts, regrets, like, oh my God, what have I done? I don't want to do this. They know what you're thinking. So they're like, oh, you think you're going to back out? Okay, we're going to kill your ass. If you think you're going to snitch on us, or you're going to tell the world what we did to you, we're going to kill you. So that's what they did. The demons went right into his cell in that 1 minute and killed his ass, because they have the capability and power to do so. This is beyond humanity. This is supernatural shit. That's what happened to his ass, okay? I've seen, like I told you guys, I've been watching a lot of supernatural stuff over the last 6 or 7 months. I've seen videos of demons and ghosts. When they show up on your video, on your camera, everything gets distorted. They literally can black out your video. They can black out your camera. So they have the power to do that. This is, again, beyond humanity. That's what happened in that 1 minute that Epstein got killed. They blacked out that video because they didn't want to see the ritual sacrifice that they did to Epstein. They didn't want the world to see that, because that will expose the truth. And now you have all these retarded ass humans like Trump and Pam Bondi and all these retards that work for the deep state, that work for these demons, trying to scramble and pick up the pieces and come up with some quote unquote believable story as to what happened to Epstein. Oh, he didn't Epstein himself. He didn't kill himself, or he did kill himself, or this is the video, blah. Like, they're trying to figure out how to explain this, but they can't, because most people don't believe it, because it's not believable until we actually get the raw, real footage, not some edited bullshit, not some made up story about Ever since 1999, they've been having the video go out every night for that one exact minute where he got killed. Shut the fuck up, you lying bitch. No, we want to see the real fucking video. And I'm going to tell you guys the truth. Until the demons are exposed, till the real deep state is exposed, you're never going to see that video. You're never going to see the real video, ever. Until all these fake lying motherfuckers and these demons and these people that work for the demons, like Trump, until they're all exposed for who they really are and the real truth comes out, you're not going to see what really happened with Epstein. So now, I'm going to show you guys something else. I don't even want to watch this, but I'll show you a little bit of it, all right? This is a guy named CoffeeZilla. He's pretty popular. He has 2 channels, blah, blah, blah. He made a little montage about Pam Bondi talking about releasing the fucking video. So watch what she says, all right? Just watch this for a little bit, and then I'll continue.
The list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
A lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released. There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for sure.
He sure did. But
okay, that's enough. I mean, I can only stomach so much lies. Like when I hear somebody lying, it pisses me off and it triggers me instantly. Like I'll be watching videos of people talking and I'll completely forget everything they said and tune out because I know they're lying and full of shit. So subconsciously, my subconscious takes over and says, this is not even worth listening to. I don't even know what she just said. It just sounded like a bunch of garbage, but I know she's lying, right? Clearly she's lying because she hasn't released what she said she was going to do. So now back to what I was saying about Epstein and how he died. Go ahead and watch this video. I've talked about Farsight in the past. They're remote viewers, okay? They're very accurate with their information. I've seen them basically say a lot of things that have come true. I believe a lot of the things that they say, okay? I don't really like to give too many people credit because honestly, I don't agree with everything that Farsight says. There are some things that I don't like that they say. It is what it is. That comes down to a personal view kind of thing. But for the most part, I think most of their information is accurate, especially when it comes to this shit. So I recommend you, I'm not going to show this video, but I saw this in 2019 was the original video that they made of this. They revised it or whatever because apparently they had the wrong conclusion. In their minds, they thought that this supported Jeffrey Epstein committing suicide. But then later on, they reviewed it. They did more sessions and they found out that actually they were wrong and that they believed that he was murdered. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. When I first saw this video in 2019, I don't know how the fuck they came to the conclusion that he committed suicide. I didn't come to that conclusion from watching their own video. And this is one of the things I disagree with, because when I saw their original video that was unrevised in 2019, I was like, damn, demons killed his ass. That was the conclusion that I came to. I was like, he was murdered because he obviously could expose the real deep state because he's working for the real deep state and he's having regrets about what he did. But it's too late. He already did what he did. So again, I'm not absolving this motherfucker of the crimes that he committed. He did what he did, right? But why did he do it? Who did he do it for, right? And again, these demons have the power and capability to kill you when they want, control your life, can kill all your family, mind control. They can do whatever the fuck they want because they control the whole entire world. That's what you guys need to understand. So someone like Epstein is literally nothing to them. They can literally just take this nobody off the street, whatever he was. He did tax recommendations or whatever. I don't know what the fuck, tax advisor. I don't know what his job was. I forgot. But they can take a normal normie off the street, turn them into, and that's what all these celebrities are, by the way. All these famous people you guys worship. And I'm not talking to my regular viewers. I'm talking, you know, if you're a normie and you follow all these celebrities and presidents, all these people, they just find them off the street and turn them into these famous people. They're literal nobodies that these demons want to use to control society. That's what they do. So they turn these people into somebodies that you respect and believe in. They build them up, and then you listen to what they, you know, you basically listen to whatever they say. That's how it works. That's how that's, you know how I made the video about influencers? Celebrities are the biggest influencers. Celebrities and politicians are the biggest influencers, period. And they use those motherfuckers to spread whatever message they want to spread, whatever information, whatever control they want to have over society and humanity. That's what they do with those people. So again, Jeffrey Epstein, he's a literal nobody that they found, or maybe they had plans for him ever since he was born. Whatever the case is, they turned him into somebody, they gave him money, and then they said, okay, now you're going to do what we tell you to do. And what they wanted him to do was traffic children for them so that they can murder or do ritual sacrifices with the children, including raping and murdering and eating the children. And I don't know if they're, you know, again, I don't know the full story, if there are children missing or whatever, but the ones that have come forth, they're not saying anything. They're just like, oh, we were victims. Okay, cool. You were a victim. Now, can you reveal any details about what happened and who was there and all of that other shit? No, I did see one video a long time ago. I forgot where. It might have been Farsight. I don't remember where somebody was describing who was on Epstein's island. And they were drawing like all these different demons and people that were there. And a lot of them, you know, there were people that, you know, like the Clintons or whatever. And this person, this child or traumatized victim, whatever, I forgot exactly who they were because this was a while ago when I saw this, but they were drawing out all these people that you know. And they were drawing them as demons or aliens or whatever. And those were the people that were there. So a lot of these people that you think are normal are actually not. They're not. They're either demons or humans that are being controlled by demons, like Epstein. And they do the bidding of the demons. That's how this world works. And until you guys see that, we're not going to get anywhere. So again, this is the real truth. And the more videos I make and the more shit I talk about and show you guys, I'm always going to bring these receipts. Like in the past, I would just talk. Now I'm going to start showing you guys shit, right? You're going to see that I'm a real motherfucker. You're going to see I'm the only real motherfucker out here, whether it's YouTube or anywhere else. I'm going to tell you guys the real truth, and I'm going to get more serious because none of this shit is a laughing matter. It's not a joke. It's not entertainment. It's not funny. It's not cool. Nobody should be laughing about this shit. Nobody should be making, you know, memes about this. This is real life. People die over this shit. People get framed. People get murdered. People get done wrong because we're living in a hellish world controlled by demons. So bad that they want you to laugh at your own death and misery. And they want you to enjoy it too. That's how evil this fucking world is. But anyways, I don't subscribe to this shit. I don't subscribe to this Kool-Aid. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm going to dismantle this shit. Let's just put it that way. If you like, comment, subscribe, share where you can. Hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.